Hi there and welcome to the astonishingly beautiful volcanic island of Lanzarote, where I'm lucky enough to be spending Christmas and therefore the end of 2021, which has been a pretty packed year. What I want to do in this video is just run through a few of the highlights, a few of the most memorable moments for me personally, for Retromodernism as an ongoing movement, and explain a little bit about what we can expect in 2022. So it's been a pretty packed year, to be honest, in every sense, largely taken up with an involvement on a feature film which I'm involved in the production of. It's the history of Italian fashion, and later on in the coming year we'll see how that actually ties in a terrific way with art. There'll be more content on the fusion between art and fashion, but we've been lucky enough to do interviews with Giorgio Armani, with Dolce & Gabbana, with Missoni, Prada, all the big names that you can imagine, and a lot of touch points there, particularly a wonderful meeting with Luc Missoni, who explained to me and showed me some material which regarded the links between Missoni and Marc Chagall, Missoni and Futurism, Missoni and the painter Titian, but there are a lot of touch points, as I say, and those we'll be digging into in the coming year. Without a doubt, one of the great highlights of this year has been participation in the Art History Appreciation Group, organised by my great friend and colleague Pandora Madalise. Pandora is the head of Pandora Art Service, and she also participates strongly in the Art Due Diligence group. Now, Pandora's organised this meeting on a Wednesday evening via Zoom, and we discuss all sorts of themes. We've discussed art movements such as the Fauvists, the Symbolists, but also smaller groups such as the Canadian group of 7, the Blauer Reiter, discussing in detail the context and the work of many of the artists involved. And that's been really very lively, well participated. One of the participants, in fact, is the sculptor Roland, whose own work, I would say, you can look at certain retromodernist elements there. There's some elements of Art Nouveau, if you like. There's elements of Mayan and Aztec art, but Dawn is a terrific sculptor, and her work is well worth looking at. I also have to thank Pandora for writing a wonderful article, the first published article about Retromodernism, which appeared in Art and Museums, which is a supplement to the Family Office magazine, which I'll link you to in the description below. For sure, other highlights of this year have been the artist studio visits, one in particular to Andrea Chisesi during a wonderful trip that we made in August of this year to Sicily. Andrea is an archetypal retromodernist, but incorporating classical elements and very new, very modern contemporary elements as well. The other standout event that we've participated in this year has obviously been the visit to the permanent exhibition, which has been established by Flavio Lucchini and Gisela Borioli, featuring Flavio's work. Now, Flavio turned to sculpture and art, having spent a lifetime in publishing. Flavio was the editor-in-chief at Vogue magazine when that was started in Italy, so hence we have a link back to the fashion theme, which will, as I say, come on strongly in 2022. Decidedly underwhelming was also a Banksy show, which I visited in Milan. Immersive exhibitions can be great, or they just can be very flat with no original artwork, no authorization, for example. Also extremely disappointing was a second rejection of a thesis or a paper on Retromodernism, which I had proposed for the General Assembly next year of For Art History, which is the association gathering together art historians of different walks, and supposedly supporting the advancement of art history study. It seems to me that what they're doing is just like running down a little rabbit hole of very narrow gauge academic study, which I personally find off-putting. No problem with academia, no problem with study, but let's broaden our horizons and try to talk to a wider audience and try to engage more people. The more people that are involved in art history, the more chance it has of sponsorship, the more chance it has that there will be different exhibitions put on in different spaces. Widen your horizons. Now, while we've been here in Lanzarote, I've come across the work of Cesar Marique, who is an absolute, what can we say, he's a monument on the island. Everywhere you go at intersections, there are gigantic sculptures by Cesar Marique. The homes that he's built are out of this world. They're sort of outrageous Bond villain style homes which are dug into holes in the lava with trees growing out and submerged swimming pools. What is absolutely fantastic about this artist is that he's obviously very aware of artists. He was working in the 1960s and 70s. He's very aware of artists like Picasso, Matisse, but also he's incredibly connected to this volcanic island, and he works with and explores and draws inspiration from the multi-100,000-year history of the island, its volcanoes, its sun, its sea, and its extraordinary vegetation as well. Just a couple of other things that are definitely worth mentioning. During the filming of our Italian fashion film, we worked with Campari, the drinks group, and a visit to their historic location in the centre of Milan, Il Camparino. This was lovingly restored. It's a very modern, very contemporary location for having drinks, for having snacks in Piazza del Duomo, but it's been lovingly restored to the 1920s feel that it had when it was originally opened. Now Campari also have a terrific story which is worth checking out. I'll link to that. And also they have a very strong connection to the art world, to graphic design in particular, and their advertising has always been absolutely at the forefront when it comes to creative innovation in Italian artwork and in Italian advertising. They also, by the way, this year at the Venice Film Festival launched an extraordinary, what can I say, it was an homage to Federico Fellini. They recreated or proposed new scenes rather using artificial intelligence, which analysed scenes from the great master's work. They shot stuff, they added stuff using AI, and that's a fantastic short film to watch out for, absolutely extraordinary, and a classic bit of retromodernism for cinema. So that's pretty much it. That's the roundup for 2021. What's coming up in 2022 is, as I say, there will be quite a lot of exploration of the fusion between art and fashion. New artists that I've discovered, there's plenty of those coming through. Some classic artists that we still have yet to touch on. Banksy would be certainly one of those, but many, many more. And really an exploration of what's happening with this retromodernist movement. Is it a movement? Where do movements come from? There'll be a lot of discussion on that. Are movements established by artists? Some are, some weren't. Are they established by art critics and academics? Again, some are and some aren't. So where were we? You might have ideas of your own about retromodernism and what it stands for, what it is, what it means to you. Have you seen it out and about? Have you heard it in music, seen it on TV, photography, fashion, art, sculpture, architecture, whatever it is? We really want to throw the message out there. That's it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. I hope you look out for the content that's coming. I hope you will give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Thanks and goodbye for now, and I really wish you the very best for 2022. Ciao for now.